What is up, guys? Baller Bread Sports Channel back here. Finally, this is on me. I get so busy sometimes I forget to post videos, and I feel like I should do more. But I mean, I've been busy with basketball just starting up. I've had school for a few months, and if you guys can't tell already, I just got braces last week. The pain has gone away, thankfully, but sad thing is now it's just that I can't eat. It's not really bad, but besides that, I can't really eat much. I'm going to go through, it's that time of year, I'm going to go through my college bowl games for football, and I don't know a lot about certain games. I don't know anything about UAB or Miami, Ohio. I just don't know anything for those games. But, for games like Michigan, TCU, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about those because I know those big schools, and I know why I picked them. All right. Speaking of, in the Bahamas Bowl at Miami, Ohio versus UAB, I picked UAB. I checked the schedules, and UAB just played better. I don't know, but not really much to say. In the Cure Bowl, we have UTSA versus Troy, and this is actually a good game because 25 versus 24. But I just picked UTSA. In the Fenway Bowl, we have Cincinnati, Louisville. Obviously, Cincinnati's coach, Luke Fickell, has moved to Wisconsin, which I'm excited about. But I picked Cincinnati in there just because they have a better record. And I don't really know much about them anyways, so I just picked the better record for that. Celebration Bowl. And so it's Jackson State, North Carolina Central. Jackson State is 12-0. But maybe it's because Deion Sanders was their coach and he went to Colorado. So I picked North Carolina Central on this. New Mexico Bowl, SMU, BYU. BYU looked terrible this year. I'm sorry if any of you are BYU fans. I was not impressed with them, so I just picked SMU here. LA Bowl, Washington State versus Fresno State. I picked Washington State because they actually looked really good. They almost beat Oregon. They beat Wisconsin, and then they had a few other impressive wins, and nothing about Fresno State's record impressed me. So I picked Washington State here. The Lending Tree Bowl, Rice versus Southern Miss. First off, this is Southern Miss. It's pretty close to there. It's in Alabama, and they have better records, so I picked Southern Miss here. Las Vegas Bowl, we have Oregon State versus Florida. This, in my opinion, is the most lopsided bowl game. You have number 14 in the country versus a very, very average Florida team. So I obviously picked Oregon State here. Very good team. I think that they can put it together here. In the Frisco Bowl, we have North Texas, Boise State. Once again, this is one of the games I have no idea about, so I just picked Boise State. Same with this next one, I don't know anything about. Myrtle Beach Bowl, Marshall versus UConn. I picked Marshall because they have a better record. Idaho Potato Bowl, Eastern Michigan, San Jose State. I picked San Jose State here. There's a stretch here of games that I just have no idea about any of these teams. Boca Raton Bowl, Liberty versus Toledo. I picked Liberty here. New Orleans Bowl, I picked Southern Alabama to beat Western Kentucky. This game is pretty tough. Armed Forces Bowl. It's Baylor versus Air Force. You may think, well, Air Force is 9-3. Why would you not pick them? Because Baylor, I think they're a really scrappy team. They may not have been ranked the entire year, but I think they're still a really good team. So I picked them to beat Air Force. Independence Bowl, I have Louisiana beating Houston here. And then Independence Bowl, Louisiana, I just said that. That's on me. Gasparilla Bowl, Wake Forest versus Missouri. I have Wake Forest winning. Once again, they have a better record. Hawaii Bowl, Middle Tennessee State versus San Diego State. I picked San Diego State here. There's a big stretch here. I just don't know anything about any of these teams. I just picked the team now. I don't know. I just picked a better team here, in my opinion. Quick Lane Bowl, New Mexico State versus Bowling Green. Well, let's just say Wisconsin beat New Mexico State really big, and I think Bowling Green probably not lose by that much. I'm going to pick Bowling Green here. Camellia Bowl, Oh, that's interesting. I did not know how to say that. I'm lucky I got that right, I think. Georgia Southern versus Buffalo. Once again, like, there's a stretch here where it's just sits and sits versus sits and sits. So I'm picking the sits and sits Buffalo. Picking sits and sits Buffalo here. All right. First Responder Bowl. Memphis versus Utah State. I picked Memphis here. Not really much to say. I have no idea. Coastal Carolina versus East Carolina. I picked East Carolina. I don't care about Coastal Carolina. I've been better record. I just picked East Carolina. Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. Okay, Wisconsin has a new coach, as I already mentioned. So they have struggled a little bit this year. But the thing is, Graham Mertz entered the transfer portal. They're starting quarterback. So we have no idea who's going to be our quarterback in this bowl game. But I still picked Wisconsin because I think they're going to be well coached. So I think they'll be able to find a way to beat Oklahoma State. Military Bowl, UCF versus Duke. Duke looked very good this year, but I'm sorry, UCF looked like they were a really good team. I picked UCF here. Kansas versus Arkansas. Well, in the Liberty Bowl, Kansas started off the year so strong. I don't know what happened to them, but I believe in them, so I just picked Kansas here. Okay, this one, Holiday Bowl, Oregon versus North Carolina. So, Oregon's ranked 15 in the country. They're a very good team, but I picked North Carolina here. I think Drake May. I think he's a really good quarterback, so I picked him. Here. And then the Texas Bowl, Texas Tech versus Ole Miss. You may think, well, it's a Texas Bowl, and Texas Tech's in it. Why did you not pick them? Because I think Ole Miss is better overall. In the Pinstripe Bowl, we have Syracuse versus Minnesota. I picked Syracuse here. Started off really hot. They sort of cooled off, but I still think they're the better team here. In the Sun Bowl, we have Pittsburgh versus UCLA. No, I just skipped. Wait a minute. I just skipped a lot of bowls. That's on me. There we go. Cheez-It Bowl. Oklahoma versus Florida State. Florida State, possibly one of the teams that exceeded expectations so big. They exceeded expectations the most in college football, possibly, besides TCU, I think. So I picked them here. Oklahoma did not look very good this year. I'll just admit that. Texas versus Washington in the Alamo Bowl. Texas, once again, it's in Texas, but I think Washington is the better overall team, so I picked them. Maryland versus NC State in the Mayo Bowl. Maryland looked very good this year, but I think NC State's overall better, so I picked them. And the Sun Bowl, we have Pittsburgh versus UCLA. UCLA looks really good this year, so I just picked them there. Gator Bowl, Notre Dame versus South Carolina. And one other game I'll mention later. I think this could be one of the best bowl games in college football this year. I picked Notre Dame to edge out South Carolina here. Arizona Bowl, Ohio versus Wyoming. I just picked Ohio because they have a better record. Really not much to say. Here's that other game I meant. The Orange Bowl, Tennessee and Clemson. Two teams that very well had a shot to go to a playoff, but they lost one too many games. I think they were really good teams, but I picked Tennessee to edge them out here. In the Mississippi Bowl, Iowa and Kentucky, both teams that sort of they did not meet their expectations this year, but they always came into a weekend having a shot to win the game. So I'm going to pick Kentucky here, just because I think they're a little better overall the entire year. The Sugar Bowl, this is another great game. Alabama, Kansas State. Kansas State coming hot off that win against TCU in the Big 12 title game. I think Kansas State is actually a really, really good team. I have them beating Alabama, which is a very bold pick there. All right. ReliaQuest Bowl. I have no idea if I said that right. But Mississippi State, Illinois. I picked this on Sunday. This is before Mike Leach sadly passed away. The football world will be missing him, but I picked Illinois already before that happened. I just liked Illinois the entire year, so yeah, I picked Illinois here. The Citrus Bowl, LSU versus Purdue. LSU looked really good until they lost to that one game to, I can't remember who, but they lost that one game that sort of took them out of the playoff contention and stuff and all that, and it just sort of hurt them. But so I picked LSU here, but I think they're the better team. Cotton Bowl. This is a good game too. USC versus Tulane. Tulane is a team that nobody, like even my dad here, he said he first said USC Tulane. USC is gonna win by 40. I'm just like, Tulane was like really good this year. He's just like, oh, they were. This game's gonna be a good game, but I picked USC. They have the Heisman winner, Caleb Williams, obviously. I think that's gonna be a tough game for Tulane to even win, so I picked USC here. The Rose Bowl. Utah versus Penn State. Utah obviously handing USC the only 2 losses of the year for them, kept them out of the playoff. And then Penn State, a really good team that almost beat Ohio State. They looked like they sort of had them the entire game, and then Ohio State just became too good for them. I picked Penn State here because I think the competition in the Big Ten is a little better than it is in the Pac-12. And I think Penn State played pretty well in the Big Ten. All right, and here we go, the Final Four. We have Michigan versus TCU, 2 versus 3. I picked Michigan here. I think TCU is a great team. Obviously, a little controversial if they should have gotten in or not with the loss in the Big 12 championship. I personally think that they were a top 4 team in the country. I think they should have gotten 4 and Ohio State should have gotten 3. That's my personal opinion. But I have Michigan winning this one. And then the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. You have to keep that in mind. Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia is playing Ohio State. Ohio State is a really good team, but Georgia's even better no matter where they play. And it's basically a home game for Georgia. So I'm picking Georgia here. And then the national title game in Los Angeles. I have Michigan playing Georgia. And you may be like, Brett, you're a Wisconsin fan. Why are you picking Michigan to beat Georgia in the title game? I think that they are the best team in football. I really do. I think that they are a very hard team to stop, especially with the run. If Blake Corum could be 100% here, I think that Georgia, even though their defense is unbelievable, I think they'll have a tough time stopping them. So there are my bowl game predictions. And obviously, I have Michigan winning it all here, and I'll do some more basketball stuff here as it's college basketball and NBA season. And remember to be a baller. Baller Brett out.